Hey everybody, it's Terensu here. I was actually asked by a few people via message and one or two comments if I should do a video about Lee Chaolan being announced for Tekken 7, so I thought I'd just take a quick moment, throw some footage of a crappy Tekken 2 Let's Play I had sitting around with some audio about my thoughts. Yeah, I awoke the other morning to see I had replied to a comment on a video about Tekken. Somebody had said they wished that Lee would be in the game, and so I said, I did too, or something to that effect. I hope they put him in the game. And I got a YouTube notification waiting on me that morning when I woke up that said you must be very happy right now. So I Googled Tekken 7 Lee, and sure enough, there was a trailer out that Lee had been put in the game. So I watched the trailer. This has really made me excited for Tekken 7 again. And I guess it's kind of silly to, hinge a fighting game purchase decision on one character. But I've been playing Lee in Tekken since Tekken 2. And even I actually bought Tekken 1 for PlayStation after I had already gotten 2 several years later. And I even played as him in that, when you didn't have a full move set or like an ending or anything. He's just a really fun character to play. Learning a new character in Tekken is a big undertaking, so it's a great thing to hear that he'll be in there and I won't have to learn a new character. Maybe that makes me a scrub or whatever, but I really enjoy the game. I like playing as Lee, and it makes it easier to jump into if you've already got a character that's there waiting on you. There seems to be a trend in current fighting games, like we see with Street Fighter V and Tekken 7, to maybe scale back from having this huge roster with lots and lots of characters to more of a condensed roster that's a healthy mix between new and old favorites. Um, and I have mixed feelings about that. On one thing, a lot of the times it's the case where quality is better than quantity, especially in a fighting game. You don't want to have just so many characters that are like all the same or similar unless it's some kind of dream match game like Tekken Tag. You have to have everybody for that. But at the same time, when you have a series like Tekken, which has been around 20 years, has tons of characters who are iconic to the series that everyone expects to be there, and you have to start making some really hard decisions about who gets to stay and who has to go. Like right now, Anna Williams is not in the game. If I had to guess, she's one of the next people that will be announced. That's just my guess, because you can't really have Nina without Anna. Unless you're looking at like Tekken 4, and nobody likes Tekken 4. Please don't kill me if you come and like Tekken 4. But anyway, as far as Lee is concerned, that's kind of just my feelings on the trend in Tekken 7 in general. Like I said, this has really made me excited for Tekken 7 again. And just from looking at the trailer, I've got it playing over here, so I can watch it as I give my commentary. He looks great. Harada and the gang said that when they did Tekken 7, they redid the character models, and it really shows just by looking at Lee and his facial features and his hair. You can tell it's a new model. It's not a reused model. He looks a little bit more refined, I think. He's got a new outfit for the first time in forever, which is like this white tuxedo but with a fancy Chinese overcoat, which I actually like. I've seen some mixed reaction to the new outfit. I like it. If you remember, storyline-wise, Lee is actually not from Japan. He's actually a Chinese orphan that Heihachi adopted. So I think to give him that kind of Chinese flair coat, I think it's really good. It's a throwback to his original origins and where he came from. It's stylish and it has a lot of flair, which is Lee's character. I do want to say that he looks a little bit more serious than he did in his Tekken 6 and Tekken 5 incarnation. For some reason they decided to make half the cast into joke characters. We really, and it's hard to say that because like Tekken 1 and 2, you didn't get much story information. You don't have a story mode. You beat arcade mode and you get an ending, which in PlayStation 1 times didn't even have voice acting. So this is the only glimpse of these characters' personalities. But Lee, while he was always flamboyant, he seemed a little more serious, a little more conniving. He was working behind the scenes. He was, kind of supporting Heihachi, supporting Kazuya, whoever he needed to get what he wanted. And then when Tekken 4 came out and we finally had voice acting, we find out that he's left the scene and started up this robotics company that he's doing his own thing, but he's been very successful. And we find out he's kind of this cutthroat businessman type character, and he wants to develop combat and, rival the Mishima Zaibatsu. And when he sees his opportunity to come back and take it, he takes a shot at it. But I don't know. It's like after Tekken 4, Harada just decided to make everyone except the Mishimas joke characters. And Lee has not had a serious ending. It's always like him golfing explosive golf balls at Heihachi or having him deliver him drinks or stuff. Whereas if you go back to Tekken 2, it's like he imprisons Heihachi and Kazuya and takes over the Mishima Zaibatsu. And in 4, the same thing. He locks up Heihachi and has him beat up. Revenge is very central to his character, but the means he accomplishes it beforehand are a little bit more serious. And after the joke character massacre or whatever it was, you've got people like Paul Phoenix who, in the Tekken lore, fought Kazuya to a draw before Tekken 1, which if you know how strong Kazuya is in the lore, that's a pretty big deal that someone who's not a Mishima could stand up to him. And now Paul's like literally trying to fight aliens to become the most powerful person in the universe or something like that. Paul's Tekken 4 story and his ending, even though it wasn't canon, was, I thought, some of the best in the game, because it's like he lost sight of who he was and then he remembered who he was, and it was just kind of this full circle ending, which was really great. I love that ending. But in Tekken 5 and 6, they just went with a whole, hey, let's team up with Law and go fight aliens and win prize money thing. So all that to say, just from Lee's facial expressions, and he looks a little bit sadder this time. And of course, this is complete just conjecture. I could get the game and he could be just as silly as he was in 5 and 6. But it looks like maybe, he looks a little more grim, a little darker. Tekken 6 left him, he was repairing Elisa on behalf of Lars, who had just kind of witnessed, he didn't really stop Azazel or Jin, but he kind of witnessed the end of the Tekken 6 arc there. And so Lee was helping him out, doing him a solid by repairing Elisa. So I have no doubt that Lee has something to do with that going forward. Given that this Tekken 7 is the conclusion of the Mishima saga, I hope that they have come full circle and given Lee some sort of prominent story role, because he deserves to be in there. He's Heihachi's adopted son. He's Kazuya's rival. The earlier games made him more of a fitting rival. The later games, he always just seemed to get spanked by Kazuya whenever he fights him. But I think in the earlier games, they had intended him to be more of an equal. So I hope they come back to that. I'm not expecting, like, when the smoke clears, everybody's dead and Lee just walks in and takes the thing. That would actually be my number one pick for what I would like to happen. But because I really just don't see them picking a Kazuya or a Heihachi victor. They're going to do something where both sides die or both sides team up or both sides do something. But hopefully it's something unexpected. Either way, I'm just hoping for a good, if it really is the final conclusion to the Mishima saga, I'm just hoping that it's a good, surprising conclusion. One thing I think they might do is, because we've seen those screenshots where you kind of pick the path you want to follow in the story mode, is have some kind of thing where the ending you get depends on which story path you follow. I think that would be a fitting end in some ways, because it lets you pick the side that you would like to see and follow it to its conclusion, and then you get whatever ending you get, and you can go back and play the other one. But that kind of puts the future of Tekken in limbo. I don't think that they will want to get rid of everybody, even though it's the conclusion of the Mishima saga, just because it would be really hard to have something called Tekken 8 with a completely new cast. But I think big changes are in store. I could be wrong. They could just do the Call of Duty thing and rehash it, do a cop-out, and just go back to pumping out the same set of characters with a few new guys every few years. But as big as Tekken is getting, how many characters did Tekken 2 Tag 2 have? Like 50 plus or something like that when you count all the clones. Maybe it's getting a little bit too big to keep putting these guys in every iteration. So they had to do some kind of shake-up, maybe to knock the series back down to kind of get a fresh start. Well, there's been a whole lot of non-Lee conjecture in this video, but that's fine. I think, like I said, this Lee's reveals really got me excited for Tekken 7 again. And it was a good trailer, too. I did like that they had Lee fighting Kazuya. That's who he should be fighting. That's always what his goal is, to defeat his adopted brother and stepdad. So I think that's great that they've got him. They know. It seems like they know where they're going with the character. But Lee aside, I hope he has a big role. I hope we get to see the conclusion of like his business with Lars. I hope he has a big part in the Mishima Saga conclusion. I really do. And I hope more characters get a resolution to their arc in a serious way. I would like to see, like something like Bruce's ending in Tekken 2, where it's just like a little snapshot of who he is as a character. I would prefer that to silly crap like Paul in space surrounded by aliens. That's stupid. I don't mind a non-canon ending in a fighting game because even if it's non-canon, I feel like it gives us a glimpse into that character and who they are and a little bit about them. So, those little vignettes are great. I would prefer that to stupid stuff like, okay, you beat the arcade mode with Lee and you get a shot of him like, doing some kind of Wile E. Coyote crap with Kazuya and Heihachi. No, give us something that shows either what would happen if that character won it all, give us what actually happens to that character, give us, some part that they play in the overall story, or just give us some little snapshot of them doing something that, shows us more about their character. Speaking of Lee, this video is technically about him. Look at his ending to Tekken Tag Tournament 2. It wasn't canon, as far as I know. It wasn't really anything to do with the story because there wasn't a story in that game. But it was a cool little glimpse of his character, It showed his skill. It showed the type of person he was and his composure, but without being just incredibly outlandish, over the top Paul fighting aliens. Just not completely worthless like that. But anyway, all that to say, Lee Chaolan reveal trailer looks great. I love what they've done with the character. I love the new outfit. It looks like he's got some great moves, returning and new. Can't wait to try them out. I do hope that they've given him some increased priority and a few other things move-wise. Lee has been one character through the years that, and I don't follow the competitive scene very close, so I could be wrong. But I remember hearing, he's top tier in Tekken 4. And then 5, well, he's okay. And then 6, and he lost a few things and gained a few things. And you just don't really see him at the pro level as much. I know of Fighting GM. That's really the only guy I know that uses him all the time that I hear about. But I do hope that he's tournament worthy. He's a good, solid character. I hope he's in the game from the beginning. Excuse me. I hope it's not some sort of you pre-order and you get Lee thing, but I really doubt they would do that. Not that I had a problem with the way they handled DLC for Tekken Tag 2. I just hope with the way they've announced him as a core feature that he's in the game from the beginning. Yeah, and I hope he's there, and I hope he plays good, and I hope he's fun and a viable character and fits in with the rest of the cast, and I hope he has a good conclusion as part of the end of the Mishima story. But those are my thoughts on Tekken 7 and the Lee Chaolan Violet reveal trailer. Looking forward to Tekken 7. Still no release date. Probably going to wrap it up a little bit early here. You can enjoy the rest of this soundless Tekken 2 footage. I'm actually recording the audio completely separate, so I have no idea where this is going to fall in the video. Probably somewhere around the 15 or 30 times I lost to Devil because the AI in the arcade version of Tekken 2 is awful. But anyways, Terensu signing off. If you like this video, give it a like and a comment below. And tell me what you want to see. If you want to see more stuff like this, where I just give my thoughts on, gaming issues and Tekken news or whatever games you want to see, I'd love to make more videos like this. This is kind of a trial one. But if you like this, let me know. And a subscribe don't hurt either. But I'm going to try not to be that guy and try to earn your subscribe without badgering for it. But seriously, subscribe, like, doesn't cost you anything. PayPal, donate link below.